Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Type 2 Cycling. So I'm an amateur endurance cyclist based in the southeast of the UK, and I'm going to use this channel just to produce videos on different aspects of endurance cycling. This is my first video, and in it I'm going to try and train like a pro cyclist for a week and see how I get on. I finished my job last week and I've got about 3 weeks until I start my new one, so I've got a lot of free time. So I thought, what better way than seeing how far I can push myself over the course of a week. Now, I don't actually have access to any pro cycling training plans, so as a proxy I'm basically going to try and train for 30 hours over the course of the week. Predominantly longer outdoor endurance type rides, but also a couple of indoor workouts with harder intervals that I'm going to do on the trainer down in my garage. Now, I'm an amateur cyclist. I've been into endurance cycling for a couple of years, done a handful of longer 400, 500 kilometer rides. But the most I've ever cycled in 1 week has been about 28 hours when I've done some of these sort of 24-hour rides. So it's very much uncharted territory for me, and not really sure how I'm going to cope with getting up on the bike 5-6 days in a row, and especially throwing in some intensity as well as the longer kind of zone 2 rides. But yeah, interested to see how I get on. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy watching the video and let's get started. Okay, day one then. I've got about a 2 kilometre route planned, which I'm hoping will take 4 hours or so. Quite flat, a couple of hills, but nothing too drastic really. It's quite windy today. Don't know if you can hear on the recording, so guess that might play a part, but hopefully shouldn't be too strenuous. Okay, done about 20k so far, average speed 24.8, so still kind of on track for that 4 hours to finish. It started raining, which is brilliant, that more than the forecast, but this time of year I guess you can't really tell. Plenty of layers, so I hope it'll be alright, but might make it a little bit harder. So I thought at some point I'd better explain why I'm doing this challenge. And it's basically because, well, it's the same reason I got into ultra endurance, Audaxing, randoneering, whatever you want to call it, for, going out on these really long bike rides. It's just to push myself to my limit and see how far I can go really. Obviously I love, getting out in the countryside, seeing different things, going through all these little villages that usually you just drive right past on the motorway, and just sort of the peace as well that comes with getting out on my own for 6-8 hours at a time. But aside from that, yeah, it's just pushing myself to my physical limits, going through the journey, the ups and downs of the emotions, feeling good in the legs, feeling not so good in the legs. Is where the name of this channel comes from, Type 2 Cycling. So I'm sure most people are aware of the concept of Type 2 fun, where it's pretty horrible at the time, but then you look back on it afterwards and think, that was quite a laugh. That's sort of my philosophy when it comes to sort of endurance cycling, I suppose. And yeah, I'm sure this week's going to be a pretty good example of it. Okay, so that's the first day done. I managed, according to Strava, 100.48 kilometers in just under 4 hours and 4 minutes. So pretty much on track with what I was aiming for. I felt pretty good for most of the ride, but I did notice in the last hour or so my heart rate creeping up quite a lot into sort of 160s, which is quite a bit higher than I was hoping it would be for that kind of effort. It could have been that the roads were quite busy with work traffic, and I was finding that quite stressful, or it could have been a little bit of fatigue creeping in. I had quite an easy week last week. I did a couple of workouts, but the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks before that I was training quite hard, so I wonder if maybe there's a bit of fatigue in the legs that I didn't realise was there. So we'll see if that plays a part the rest of the week. Okay, so I'm starting off day 2 with an hour workout on the turbo trainer in my dingy garage. This time of year, as it's colder and wetter, I tend to do most of my riding indoors. I use a program called Trainer Road, which I don't know if people are familiar with, but makes it really easy to follow a structured training plan. But I've just selected a 1 hour VO2 max workout for today. So I'm just doing the warm up now, and let's see how we get on. So that's the hour ride on the trainer done. Had a shower, chilled out around the house a little bit. Now just wolfing down a massive portion of pasta. Gonna head back out on the bike for a few hours once this is done. Just a nice easy spin, keep the legs turning. Got quite a big day tomorrow, so don't really want to push it too much this early on. Right, so I finished my mountain of pasta. Just out for like a nice easy spin for a couple of hours now. 2 hours probably, just a big loop kind of around some local roads. Just keep the blood flowing through the legs. Hopefully won't feel stiff tomorrow morning. I think a mistake I made yesterday was just pushing a bit too hard at times. I think my natural kind of preference or drive is to, push it a little bit, power up little hills, or if there's a busy road, just get my head down, get through it. But I think all those kind of mini efforts, they definitely build up, and before you know it, your legs are feeling pretty cooked. And I think that's something that I've had to really work on, that kind of self-discipline through my training and through my long rides. And I think this week will definitely be a big test of it as well. Hopefully I've not done too much damage already, but I guess time will tell. Also, it's November and I'm wearing shorts. If that's not evidence of climate change, then I don't know what is. Okay, so that's day 2 done. I managed an hour on the turbo trainer in the garage and then 2 hours and 8 minutes riding outside, which doesn't include about half an hour poncing about taking pictures and videos of horses. Legs are still feeling all right, to be fair. I'm a bit tired though, and got a few aches and pains creeping in, so probably have to spend a bit of time on the foam roller tonight, do a bit of stretching. Still got a long way to go. Okay, day 3, big day today. I did plan originally to do about a 200-kilometre route up to Newmarket and back, but I woke up feeling pretty shoddy this morning. Didn't sleep that great, kept waking up, had a bit of cramp in my hamstring. So at one point I was wondering, do I just stay in all day, try and make up for it later in the week? But I've dragged myself out of the house. I'm going to do a 160-ish kilometre route to a market town called Saffron Walden and back. Gonna have some lunch there. Still a decent day in the chair. I guess it will be maybe 8-9 hours of riding, but yeah, a little bit more manageable. I didn't really want to go killing myself and then be completely wiped out tomorrow. Okay, done about 35k. Just had a quick pit stop for a pastry and a milkshake. Got to keep the calories in. I was thinking as well about my experience this morning, and you know, the kind of mental gymnastics and mood swings you can get when it comes to doing these long rides. I set my alarm for 7 AM, had the intention of getting up, walking down to Porridge, out the door by 8 o'clock. It wasn't until about 10 that I finally mustered the courage to get out and obviously changed the route to a shorter one. Kind of reminds me of, like, I've seen a video before on the 15-minute rule where, you know, if you're not really feeling up for it, just get on the bike, get out there, and after 15 minutes or so you'll be feeling all right again. I think it's actually true though. I mean, first thing this morning, to be honest, I was ready to pack it all in, you know, forget doing this video, the whole 30-hour challenge. Why am I even bothering doing this? I could just be, you know, chilling at home, watching telly. You know, had some breakfast, had a coffee, chilled out for a couple of hours, and by the time I kind of got out the door, you know, got 10k up the road or so, felt absolutely fine, raring to go. But yeah, does anyone else get these mood swings before a big ride? If you're not really feeling 100% up for it, you got any other tactics to get your ass into gear and get going? Let me know. So about 55k in, going through a bit of a rough patch. I feel a bit ropey, to be honest. So I've had an emergency gel and I'm just taking my foot off the gas a little bit. Hopefully that will help. Okay, just off for a sausage sandwich and a bit of cake and a coffee. Sausage sandwich is like my favourite bike ride staple lunch. Hello again. I'm about 100 kilometres in. Been going for 4.5 hours riding time-ish. I can't tell you how much that lunch sorted me out. I was really struggling on the way into Saffron Walden. But yeah, I feel like I've got a second wind now. So just going to try and, you know, keep a lid on the effort, keep eating loads. Hopefully it'll be alright to get home. Well, I don't know what I want to do if I'm not alright to get home, but yeah, hopefully won't suffer too much. So I was thinking about what I said earlier about doing a shorter ride, only 160k, 100 miles. Has anyone else sort of completely lost track of the reality of what a long bike ride is? It's like, more often than not, if I go out, it's 100 kilometers or so, like 60 miles. To me, that's nothing really, like no biggie. But I talk to, you know, friends, family, colleagues, whatever. Everyone's like, well, you cycled 60 miles. And I think it gives you some perspective, to sort of, for me anyway, like over time, over several years, I've just been, you know, the rides are getting longer and longer and longer. You know, when I started cycling during lockdown, 30, 40 kilometers was a long ride. Whereas now, that's kind of child's play. Although this last 40 kilometers might not be sort of relative, I suppose. But yeah, you kind of wonder sometimes, like, how's it come to this? Going out to 100 miles and it's, you know, considered a shorter ride. Alright, so I've just got home, had a shower, freshened up a bit, drunk about a litre of water. Strava says today was 163.8 kilometres, 6 hours 52, so I'm going to round that up to 7 hours. So I believe that makes the total for this week around 14 hours. Not even halfway yet, which is slightly worrying. But we'll get there, I'm sure. It's a bit of a roller coaster day, to be honest. Like I was saying earlier, felt pretty bad this morning. Finally got going, felt really good for a couple of hours. Between the third and fourth hour, started to really kind of, well, struggled a lot anyway. Wasn't sure if I was gonna make it home, to be honest, but yeah, managed to get to Saffron Walden, had some lunch, had a coffee, which probably made a difference, to be honest. On any given day, I probably drink 3 or 4 coffees, probably a bit too much really. So I'd only had one early morning, so I probably needed my caffeine fixed, I think. So yeah, that probably helped. And yeah, just felt pretty good after lunch and seemed to sort of sustain that all the way home, to be honest. Seemed like I was just sort of cruising along, not too much power, and averaging around 30 kilometers an hour, which is always nice. So yeah, definitely a day of ups and downs. Good morning, on to day 4. Feeling pretty good this morning, at least compared to yesterday. So the plan today is about 100 kilometers, 4 hours or so, maybe 5 hours. Try and take it nice and easy, keep the hours ticking over. I'll be honest, I don't know how people do this every week. I feel like my whole life at the moment is being on my bike, or thinking about being on my bike, or thinking about prepping food or washing my cycling gear. Considering I've only ridden 14 hours so far this week, doesn't really seem like that much, but it seems like it's just taken up all my time. So yeah, big respect to the people who do this every week. I suppose if I was being paid a lot of money to do it, it might make it a bit easier as well. I'm only just over halfway. Well, no, not even halfway. Yeah, nearly halfway. And it's been, yeah, it's felt like a full-time job for me. Okay, that's 40k done in a couple of hours. Yeah, just under 2 hours. Oh, don't feel like I've got too much power in my legs today. Struggling a little bit. Feel alright in myself, but I'm just conscious I'm probably not pedaling as hard as I normally would. And the rain isn't helping as well. It's been going pretty constantly, so I feel a bit soggy, to be honest. But stopped for lunch, another sausage sandwich. It's quite a beast, to be fair. And a coffee, so I'm sure this will lift the spirits a little bit. So I'm just going along one of my favourite roads through an area called Stapleford Tawny. Nice surface, barely any cars, nice and peaceful with some animals around. Yeah, you wouldn't think you're only 20 minutes, 15 minutes from Brentwood. Oh, yeah, made a special detour just to come through it. Okay, I'm about 4 hours in, which was my sort of planned quota for the day. Got about 12k left to get home, so probably another half hour or so. Felt pretty good this second half of the ride. It's been a bit of a common theme for the last few days anyway. Don't know if that's like the power of the sausage sandwiches or if it's just like my body taking a while to get warmed up properly. But yeah, it's been alright the last couple of hours really. Looking forward to getting home and stuffing my face though. Right, just got home. Look at the state of this bike. Hey guys, so back home, had a shower, just tucking into some soup and a bit of bread. Managed just under 100 kilometers today in about 4 hours 31 minutes. So I think that brings my total to the week to about 18 and a half hours. So I think, so that's 11 and a half left for the week. Hopefully I can make it to the 30. I think I might make sure I make it out of stubbornness as long as I feel alright. But yeah, it's going to be close. I'm going to do 4 hours on the turbo trainer today. The first 2 hours I'm going to do a sweet spot workout, and I'm going to do 7 intervals of 4 minutes. Come in, probably have some lunch, change my bibs, and then go back out, and then just do 2 hours of easy spinning, maybe stick a film on, something like that, just to get the 4 hours today. I'm feeling pretty sore, pretty tired today. I've got sore legs, sore lower back, sore ass. Just feel a bit kind of achy in general. So I'm hoping I'm not going to find the intervals too challenging today. The amount of hours is starting to catch up with me as well. I find like I'm just feeling tired, yawning a lot in the evenings, but also struggling to sleep, which I don't know if that's like dehydration or just being overtired or what. But yeah, definitely starting to feel it now. But we'll keep going. The finish line's in sight. Just got a couple more days of hard riding to get through. So better crack on, I suppose. Right, 4 intervals done, hour 7. Pretty tough, I'm not gonna lie. There's 8.5 minute recoveries in between, so I feel alright again at the beginning of each one, but 2 minutes in, starting to bite, and then that last minute, yeah, it's really tough. We'll get there though, only 3 more, that's what I'm telling myself. Okay, 2 hours done, just having some lunch now, bit of pizzas today, no sausage sandwich unfortunately, and I've set up a workout to do afterwards, so another 2 hours, just easy spinning, 50% FTP. Right, back at it, 2 hours left. Don't think it's particularly interesting watching me sit on my train in my garage, so probably won't film too much. Just give a quick update at the end of the day. But yeah, wish me luck. Hi again, so that is day 5. Yeah, day 5 done. I'm definitely not firing on all cylinders this week. I've noticed that I'm struggling to remember days, numbers, dates, that kind of thing. But yeah, 5 days done then. Just did 4 hours on the trainer today. I've just come in from the second session with which was just like easy spinning for a couple of hours. Had a shower, protein shake. Yeah, feeling pretty sore. I think that takes me up to 22 and a half hours for the week now. But yeah, I think that's it for today, and catch you tomorrow. Hey everyone, day 6. So I was planning to, well, ideally have a day off today, or just do an hour or so. Jumped on the train, I'm going to do an hour and a half though. Feeling alright, not too tired, so I thought an hour and a half more today is an hour and a half less tomorrow. So this is what I've got planned. just easy spinning, zone 1 and 2. But yeah, a bit more time in the bank and then. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, so just come in from the garage, another 90 minutes done, so that takes me up to 24 hours for the week. Feeling pretty good, just 6 hours left. I'm meeting my mate Dave tomorrow for like a nice ride around Kent. Yeah, just enjoy the last section of this challenge. Right, good morning everyone. Day 7. It's a lovely sunny morning over here in Kent. I'm meeting my friend Dave near Dartford, North Kent. I've got a 130 kilometre route plan, so we're going to go down towards Tunbridge Wells, across into Surrey and then back up to the north of Sevenoaks. So yeah, nice beautiful day, hopefully perfect backdrop to finish this bloody challenge. 6 hours left. Right, let's do it. Okay, we're 2 hours in, done about 40k, so just take it nice and easy. It's a lovely day today, bit of mist, but sun's out. Like, yeah, perfect. Just stopped at a shop, gone for a hoops and chocolate milkshake. I'm getting absolutely fed up with cakes and biscuits and flapjacks and stuff, so just eating whatever I fancy just to get me through at the moment. But yeah, feeling good, and 4 hours riding time left to hit the 30 hours, so yeah, let's keep going. Just had a nice detour through a farmer's field, absolutely caked in mud. I don't know if anyone uses Komoot, but it's what we call a Komoot special. It looks fine on paper, but then you get there and it's just, yeah, started off as gravel and then we were into proper deep mud, cow shit, all sorts. To jump 3 farmers gates, I think, go through a few farmyards. So yeah, not the best. We've mugged off a little bit of the route and we're just staying on this main road and then going to rejoin it a bit further up because it looked like it wanted to take us through another farm. So yeah, interesting day, not what we expected. Does mean I need to clean the bike again, unfortunately, but we'll keep going. Five hours in, 1 more to go, nearly there. Okay, and that's me done. Just getting back to the car now. Total time about 6.5 hours today, so 30.5 for the whole week. Oh, I'm knackered. It's been like an easier day today. Nice just chatting and stuff. But yeah, looking forward to getting up tomorrow and not having to get on the bike. I'll be having a few days off, I think. Hi everyone, that is the week's challenge done and dusted. So I'm pleased to say I've hit the 30-hour mark. Got some stats here for you. So according to Strava, I rode for 30 hours and 37 minutes over the week. This equated to just over 661 kilometers. Probably take that with a pinch of salt because about 6-7 hours was spent on the trainer, and that's not quite comparable with riding outdoors, but still a pretty decent chunk of mileage, I've got to say. A lot more than I'd normally do in 1 week. Now, something else that I found quite interesting that Strava can show for you is your time spent in your different power zones. Unsurprisingly, about 25, 26 of the 30 hours was in zones 1 and 2, just that lower power, steady state riding. 2.5 hours in zone 3, sort of tempo, an hour in zone 4, half an hour in zone 5, 15 minutes in zone 6, and then 5 minutes in zone 7. I think that kind of fairly well reflects that balance of mostly lower intensity riding and then a bit of some higher power efforts. Similar to how I expected, but it's always quite interesting seeing the actual numbers on screen as well. I'm sure someone that knows more than me could tell me that I should have been sticking more in zone 2 and maybe just zone 2 and zone 4 or something like that. But yeah, quite pleased with how I did, considering it was really an unstructured week of riding. So I've been thinking about some kind of key takeaways or learnings from my experience over the week. And I think the first and most obvious one was just how hungry I was over the course of the week. I mean, I'm a fairly big guy, I eat quite a lot anyway, and it's probably one of my favourite things about going out for big bike rides is just eating whatever you want and as much of it as you can get. But yeah, even for me, I was just eating non-stop. Getting from a ride, have a big meal, a couple of hours later have a proper dinner, and then have a big snack in the evening. I went through, God knows how many flapjacks, cakes, buns, pancakes, cookies, donuts, any kind of baked good. I had it all this week. I think the other thing that I found kind of surprising was just how sore my muscles were as well. I was kind of expecting that I'd be just absolutely cooked, like tired, sluggish, just like a whole body kind of lethargy, I suppose. Now, don't get me wrong, I was very tired, but I think what was more noticeable was actually like sore muscles, predominantly my legs and my lower back. Yeah, I felt like the day or two after a heavy gym session doing squats or something like that, from about Wednesday onwards, I just felt that. And it's only really now, about 3 days later, that I really feel like my muscles are back to normal. So it's taken quite a while to recover, definitely. Another thing I've noticed over the week, and again, shouldn't really be surprising, is just sort of how many ups and downs you can go through, both within those bike rides and also over the space of the week. I've had it on plenty of long rides where I felt pretty naff, down in the dumps, tired, wondering how am I going to get through this, and then 10-15 minutes later you feel like you're absolutely on top of the world, just flying, and all you've done is eaten a chocolate bar, or maybe you've got a bit of a tailwind or something like that. Like, that's all it takes to change your mindset completely. So I've kind of had that on a few individual days, probably when the long ride on Wednesday being the best example, where I just felt absolutely shit in the morning. Finally dragged myself out the front door, felt brilliant for a couple of hours, then I felt awful again, had some lunch, and then felt brilliant like all afternoon. It was just so I knew to expect it, but there was so much of that kind of up and down. And then between days as well, like the next morning I felt a little bit rough, and then felt okay the next day. And yeah, it's just been it's been emotional, let's say that, as well as physical this week. I think I've been a bit irritable, a bit snappy at times in the evenings, so I've been told by my partner. But yeah, probably worth mentioning for anyone else who wants to do a similar kind of challenge. Just warn your other half that you might be struggling a bit at times. A fourth point that I've noticed over the week is just how all-consuming the nature of the challenge can feel. In terms of the actual riding itself, it's only 30.5 hours out of 168 hours. So not that much time when you think of it then. And I was kind of planning roughly 4 hours a day for most days, so you'd think that's easy, right? But actually just the amount of time that I spent stretching or foam rolling or drinking protein shakes or eating or giving my bike a wipe down, prepping my food, doing more washing than I've ever done during a week. Yeah, thinking about routes or little things to film, all of this on top of like regular housework, spending time with my wife, that kind of thing. It was just been, I felt like I've been going non-stop all week, to be honest. And it's been quite nice this week to just be able to take some time to chill and relax and start to edit this video. I mean, I don't know how long that's going to take. Hopefully I can get this video out before the end of the year, but you know, we'll see. And the last thing I've learned over the week, which is quite personal to me, I felt like my confidence and like talking to the camera has definitely grown. I'm generally, so like I work as a writer, I'm normally behind the scenes, don't particularly enjoy like presenting, public speaking, anything like that. I'm more than happy to kind of, you know, lurk in the background. So making this video has been a bit of a leap into the unknown and the uncomfortable for me. Now, watching this video, it probably won't come across to most people, but it's felt quite good for me. Yeah, just feeling that confidence building and getting used to, you know, talking into a camera and stuff. And hopefully people enjoy this video and I'll go on to make a couple more. So on that note, I hope you have enjoyed seeing me suffer over the course of the week. Hope it's been an interesting video. Maybe you've learnt a couple of things or you can relate to some of the stuff I've talked about from your own long rides. It's been good fun for me, but I'm sure there's loads of stuff that I could have done better or things I could take into the next video that I make. So if you have any feedback, comments, good or bad, but be nice please, then please just drop them in the comments for the video. Equally, if there's any other challenges or videos or topics that you'd be interested in seeing some videos on, then just let me know and I'll see what I can do. But yeah, thank you for coming along on me for the journey for the week. Hope you've enjoyed it, and feel free to click like or to subscribe to the channel, and then who knows, maybe I'll do some more soon. All right, bye bye.